were
And
muted.
they weren't the only one to have a blowout.
You want to hear something really funny? We may or may not have been muted that entire time.
No one said anything.
I know. I'm going to check. But I'm pretty sure we were muted that whole time. Oh, yeah. We were totally muted. Okay. Hello. We were muted for the first 5 minutes of the show. My bad.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go through
redo everything.
I'm not going to go through all of the announcements again. They're going to be on Twitter. Just know that there's an entire E3 conference, or we got the entire E3 conference lined up. We're going to have a show every night afterwards. There's not going to be a show next week, and Dying Light 2 is coming out December 7th. That's all you need to know to get caught up on everything that happened while we were muted. Anyway, back to what we were talking about.
Also, thanks for speaking up in the chat. We love you.
Yes, thank you. So anyway, we're going to get back to
missed all the funny bits. And we're never going to do anything funny ever again. It's all your fault.
Yeah, we're not doing anything funny anymore. But we're gonna jump talking into Far Cry 6, the big game that was blown out like right after, or the day after we recorded last week. Sorry, I can't talk. So we got almost a 9-minute gameplay trailer for Far Cry 6, going over all of the fun things on how to be a mercenary in this place that looks a lot like Cuba, but they swear is not Cuba or Cuban related to anything. But it looks a lot like Cuba. Anyway, so this is the first time we've seen gameplay of it. And I don't know about you guys, and I'm going to start with Chase with this, but the character models look kind of bad, but the environments look really good. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. I mean, I thought the characters look okay, but I mean, I know they're going to have to do, the PS4 and PS5 versions, or last gen, current gen.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to work with a lot of environment. So that may be why the character models don't look as good. I can see that, but
I don't think they said whether it was what version of gameplay. I assume it's probably just PC, but I don't know. I feel like they should have. I think they did say that they were going to show PS4 and Xbox One footage before the game comes out to avoid the Cyberpunk effect where they didn't show gameplay and then they had to refund 2 million copies of the game. Michael, Steven, any first impressions to give on Far Cry 6?
First things first, I've never played a Far Cry. But looking at the gameplay, it just looks amazing. Just from the trailer, the way that it was presented to you, as far as the guns and the innovation on the guns and everything, I was like, I'm sold. I don't know if I'm going to go back and play the other 5.
7.
But 7, is it really 7?
Actually, there might be more than 7. Okay. But they're not connected, so you don't have to play one to understand another. They're all individual stories. So
yeah, they're a far cry from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely it's something. At the very least, I'm going to be watching gameplay on it. I do want to get it day one. And you said that it's coming out on next gen and last gen, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I probably will be getting that game.
Yeah. Michael, what did you think of it?
I mean, I'm looking at it from more of a technical standpoint. I see both sides. I think there's room for cleanup across the board as far not even just character models, but just a certain environmental issues too. But I think it's not even the models themselves. It's actually the skeletal animations. And I think the reason why that is because from the first person view, everything looks fucking phenomenal. But I mean, when you're looking at other characters, they seem a little stiff. I think their focus was primarily on the gameplay itself, not the cutscenes. So, I mean, hopefully, there'll be like a little update or whatever where, they'll clean some things up a bit. But overall, I'd get it.
Yeah. And it's worth noting, and I don't know if it's still a thing, but there was a while where if you bought new, I want to say AMD processors, they were giving away Far Cry 6. I don't know if that's something they were still doing or not, but that is something. I did take a couple of I mean, I say I have notes, but it's pretty much just about the weapons. Like, I took notes while I was watching the trailer. Like Steve was saying, they have very innovative weapons in this game, and I think every Far Cry does this, but I never made it far enough in any of them to get that far. So things that include a gun that shoots car batteries, a machine gun that's made out of a motorcycle engine, a gun that shoots CDs that just play the Macarena, which I think that's the $60 selling point right there, just to have a gun that just shoots CDs. That's great. You can have a pet alligator and a fucking dog with 2 legs and a wheelchair, because that's what everybody needs for
Everybody.
in their games. And it is also coming out on October 7th, which is not that. It was actually already supposed to be out. It was originally announced to come out in February before getting that old delay hammer. So yeah, stay tuned for more from Far Cry 6, and I'm sure Richard, once he's able to get back on the show, we will be able to talk more about that with him. Real quick, next thing, a sequel to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night has been announced. I'm not a big fan of this game because it's a Castlevania game, and I've never been really big into those. I don't think we really got much other than just the fact that it is coming at this point. This one's more for Michael. No Man's Sky got a massive update to improve all of the graphics. Anything in particular in the update you want to point out to everybody?
I didn't get a chance to load it up since then, but I do think they need a little bit more clarity on their exploration events too, because I was trying to stream it like their last day, and they'd already had it locked up.
Oh wow!
So yeah. So I didn't get a chance to get the Normandy ship on my fleet, but some little gritty about that, but I still love No Man's Sky, so I'm still going to play it. I'm still going to enjoy that update.
Yeah,
I'd still buy it again, full price.
They added lots of...
Oh, and you can catch the flying monsters now, which is what I was trying to do originally.
I saw in the trailer there, if you're watching the video version of this, you're seeing this trailer for the No Man's Sky Prism update right now. So like we were talking about, there's lots of updated visuals to the game, added particle effects, rain effects, everything else in there. But like Michael's saying, that you can ride the flying monsters, and you'll see in this trailer in a second, dude's riding this giant like sandworm or something through the sky, or it looks like a dragonfly. It looks really cool. I don't know.
But you can ride absolutely. I mean, because of that, you can ride absolutely like batshit insane creatures. Like they're all volumetrically created, so you can have like this rotund, sort of Dragonite-esque monster with like this fat ass body and tiny little butterfly wings, and it'll still be going. You could do that.
I don't know if this is the update that finally gets me to play No Man's Sky, like for real, but it's another step in the right direction to get me into it. I don't know what the game has to add to just make me like, I gotta play it. Like right.
I mean, I think they've even updated some of the ship visuals as well. I mean, and you can add bubbleheads to your ship.
Oh, that's it. I'm sold. I'm in. I'm in. All right. So now let's jump to something that got cut off that we kind of talked about briefly was the Nintendo Switch Pro, and hopefully this is the last time we have to talk about it when it's before actually getting announced. I had made a funny, but we're not doing funny. Somebody died.
Goodbye.
Not doing funnies anymore. So anyway, we'll just jump into like the actual like bit of discussion about the Switch Pro, and that is this listing that popped up on Best Buy. So I screen grabbed this. It's pretty much we're all putting on tinfoil hats real quick just to kind of discuss this real quick. But yeah, the Nintendo Switch Pro, the new Nintendo Switch Pro has showed up on a listing on Best Buy. And people have been asking tech support at Best Buy if it's real, and everyone that they've talked to says yes, it's going to get announced in the next couple days, which that was a couple days ago. And so everyone is frantically refreshing Twitter, on Nintendo's Twitter, hoping that they're going to be able to catch an announcement of when it's happening. we were talking about this earlier in our little chat we have, and we tried putting the UPC in at through Walmart, and it does not exist. And the SKU number, somebody said it goes to an AMD processor. Isn't that what you said, Chase?
Yeah.
So it still could be fake. We don't know for sure if it's real or not. Is just a lot of that. If there's smoke, there's fire, kind of thing. So everybody's really expecting this to happen. So if you are in the camp of I think this is going to happen, you might want to be refreshing Twitter, especially tonight, but not until after the show's over. Don't leave us. So just keep an eye on that, because if you're going to try to get one, you're going to want to beat out the bots on getting that. All right, next we've got Battlefield 6 is set to get its big release blowout on June 9th. No other information other than the fact it's supposed to be a modern shooter and not a World War II shooter or World War I shooter. And then this is kind of just like an open discussion because there's not a lot to really go on with this. But last week we had talked a lot about what Sony and Square maybe bringing to E3, especially since Horizon had been already shown off. And then now this week we found out that God of War, the sequel to the 2018 God of War, got delayed into next year. So now it remains to be seen if Sony is actually going to have anything to show at E3 now that all of their games have already been talked about. Chase, do you think that Sony's going to show up whatsoever, or do you think they've kind of just let everybody know that they're not going to be there with this?
I feel like they would have definitely made an announcement by now if they were actually going to be there. But they did say, I mean, they have like 25 plus games that they're working on that they have not announced, or they're either going to be like, new IPs or, sequels or whatever. But I mean, there's a lot. They're still got a lot to bring, but even so, if they're not going to be there, there's still a lot to look forward to. So.
Right. Also want to get everyone's opinions on the fact that this game is also going to be coming to PS4 and PS5 too. I would have thought that Horizon would have been the last one that came to both. Do you guys think that this is going to be something that continues through, I guess, the rest of next year as well, where all of the big first-party PlayStation games are still going to be going up on both systems and not just one? And is that going to hinder what they could be because of it?
I think that it would hinder anything. I think they're not ready to say goodbye to the PS4. Of course, the fans are the same way because of the shortage, because of the scalpers and the bots and everything. So this is just a way to pretty much just hold on to their fan base that they're losing to people who are scalping this out the ass here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this year is going to be the last of it. They're just trying to hold on to what they can right now because they're losing a lot of money.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like some of these games, like, I feel like I'm in that camp that, like, the games are going to be held back. Like, so I was talking to someone about, like, with Halo Infinite and how that game could be affected because of being developed for the original Xbox One and everything. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they'll make a version of it that obviously will be much better for PS5 over PS4, but I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on whether or not they should continue to do this. Especially, I thought Horizon would have been the end of that. Chase, Michael, anything?
So they did say in that interview that, I mean, they have so many people that own a PS4 console. They just don't want to dump all of them and focus on PS5 when still, people can't get PS5s.
Right.
So they still have that huge audience of PS4 players, but they are focusing on a lot of games will be PS5 exclusive in the future. They said that I think it was around 30% of the games expected next year are going to be 33 or something like that, like a third of the games next year are going to be PS5 only that are coming out. That they have planned, and then they're still going to support PS4, and then just gradually it's just going to be replaced. So,
Gotcha.
I could definitely see it going for a year, maybe even a year and a half. Just kind of depends on the chip shortage, honestly. They'd lose a lot of sales if they switched to PS5 anytime soon, just because there's a lot of people who want one that still don't have one, just because of scalpers and the chip shortage. That being said, I do think it would also increase lead times on creating video games in general. Depending on the game and the studio, they'd have to either, troubleshoot each game running on the same engine or make two separate engines for creating the games.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I mean, both of them have their pros and cons, of course, but it just doubles the time they have to work on it.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the things that happened with Cyberpunk, is that, they were having to stress test the game on everything from a high-end PC to a low-end to an Xbox to a Series X, PS5, everything, which didn't help make the game get out any faster. And to that point about how they develop the games, though, I feel like CD Projekt Red had the right idea about how they developed Cyberpunk, where, instead of most games, what they'll do is they'll develop the low-end version and work their way up. But with the Cyberpunk, they started with the high-end PC and worked their way down. And I think that's a better approach, But at the same time, it's got, like you said, it's got its pros and cons with it. So to each their own. But I hope that God of War is not hindered because of the PS4 version. And hopefully they'll be able to get enough of those out so we can stop getting multi-generational games that could potentially hold back some of these masterpieces that they're coming up with here soon. All right. Kind of burned through those topics pretty quick. But, and that's a but with two T's at the end of it, we are going to talk about this week. This is the final of our Road to E3 series. And this week we are going to be talking about Xbox and Bethesda. And sorry, Richard is not here to talk badly about Todd Howard and Phil Spencer like he really wished he could have been. So, big rip to Richard on that. So I've got this, like I did with everyone else. I've got the list here broken up between games that we are expecting to see and the games that the internet wants to see. But since I know that Steven and I are the ones who pretty much are the Xbox, we game on Xbox people. Chase, you told me the other day you're looking for a reason to get a Series X, and Michael's on the PC side of it. I went on Reddit and asked a bunch of people, just open-ended questions on on the Xbox One and the regular Xbox Reddit, just to see to kind of gauge what games people were expecting to see, or they wanted to see show up. So we'll talk about that too. But first, I think the big thing that everyone is hoping to see, if you were an Xbox fan, and I think it's time that we're finally going to get we talked about it last year. They had that terrible incident that involved a man named Craig. So hopefully he has learned his lesson and will, stay away. And that they fixed him. Steven, you a Halo guy? Are you just mostly COD?
No, I've played Halo. Halo was up there as far as the pinnacle of co-op games during the sleepovers and staying up until the sun hit. I definitely want to see this game come to fruition.
Yeah, so, and I'm hoping also they're going to, this has got to be the time where they blow out the lid on the multiplayer side of it, because up until now we haven't seen Halo Infinite's multiplayer, just like that 10-minute campaign demo. So hopefully that's going to show up. Everwild from Rare. I know nothing about this game other than this looks like some spiritual game, and it's pretty much the end of the discussion with me, because I really every time I see this, it's just some woman holding a fox and she's got a stick and she draws lines in the dirt. That's pretty much everything I've seen of this game. Which I'm sure it's obviously the game's probably a lot more than that, but it's just What? State of Decay 3, which I think honestly on the list, other than Fable and Halo, is probably the one I'm most excited about, because State of Decay 2 is one of those games where I put just a astronomical amount of hours into for really no reason. It's just, it's senseless base survival and killing zombies. So, are any of y'all played State of Decay 1 or 2?
Yeah, I've played 2.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we were supposed to play it. I think we played like one time and then never got back into it again.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me that sassy. Mm-hmm. I'm a busy man. Can't help it. We should play that again sometime, because got to get back in that, especially in the swing of things with the State of Decays.
Definitely.
This is the one I forgot about till I got on Reddit, but the Indiana Jones game coming from Machine Games, which is the Wolfenstein team over at, I guess it's Machine Games through Bethesda. I don't know what to expect from Indiana Jones. Like, I mean, if Machine Games makes it, that makes me think it's a first-person shooter. But I don't think that I don't know how you do a first-person Indiana Jones. Is that something that anyone would be interested in?
If they do it like Uncharted,
Yeah.
That's what y'all
I can
think
see
it's
that.
like Uncharted.
I think it's going to be like Uncharted.
Will it star Tom Holland?
Yes.
Or Nathan Fillion? One of those two. And then there's Avowed by Obsidian, which is they're big. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones too, but they're really big for God, no, I forgot the name of it. Fallout New Vegas and the Outer Worlds. No, yeah, the Outer Worlds. There's an Outer Wilds, and I get them mixed up. And this game looks a lot like Skyrim, but with funny hand magic that the dude does with his other hand. He scribbles with his. He does some scribbles. So, the trailer they showed for that looked amazing. I don't think that game's coming out this year or probably next year, so it may not be there. It'd be cool though. I want like everything on this list we talked about just to show up. That way, they just have like a blowout E3. Hellblade 2 from Ninja Theory, which was the first next-gen game that was ever shown off for this current generation. So that was, what were we talking about? 2019 at the Game Awards when that got shown off. One of the most awesome, badass trailers for a game I've ever seen for cinematics. But I never finished the first Hellblade, and that game delves into a lot of like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Have y'all played Hellblade? You know what I'm talking about? You ever played Hellblade?
I know what you're talking about, but it's a lot of mental health issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it deals with like a lot of mental issues and how this chick copes with it. So I'm interested to see where Hellblade 2 is going to take the story with that, and probably if I see a cool trailer, it'll make me go back and play the first one. The big one I think everyone's expecting to show up is Starfield from Bethesda Softworks. That's the big question mark of whether or not all of Bethesda's games are going to be Xbox exclusive or if they're coming to PlayStation. So everyone has got their eyes on Starfield, and pretty much I just imagine it's going to be like the Outer Worlds, maybe not as funny, because I mean that's pretty. If the Outer Worlds is Fallout in space, then that's pretty much what Starfield's going to be too. Because I mean they follow the same, just same building blocks.
Yeah.
And then we got a reboot of Forza from Turn 10. I mean, bump my microphone. Sorry. I don't know how much y'all are into racing games. I'm normally not, but I did go back and re-download Forza Horizon 4 yesterday and probably played that game for about 2 hours, just senselessly driving around and doing stuff. And I probably will end up getting the next Forza game just because I'm having a lot of fun just senseless driving. It made me feel like I was playing GTA 5, but no one was trying to kill me with an orbital satellite. So, and then I think this is probably, well, I'm going to start this with saying, if there was a game that would ever get Richard to buy an Xbox, which is not going to happen, but if there was one, it would be the reboot of Fable from Playground Games. Richard's a big Fable guy himself. I am too. Are y'all excited for Fable other than just getting to eat fairies as a frog? Like,
Who doesn't love that?
yeah, right?
That tongue thing.
Just sucks them up. I don't know. Like, I don't think this game's coming out this year either, or even close to coming out. But out of everything on the list of stuff that could potentially show up there, that's actually announced, I think Fable is probably at the top. Fable, State of Decay, and Halo, and then Perfect Dark, which was announced back at the Game Awards from their new team, The Initiative. There has not been anything about this. I don't see this game coming out anytime soon, but it is something that they do have in development. And then now for the more interesting stuff, because this is what the internet would like to see show up. First thing, a reboot of Quake. I've never played Quake. Is that something y'all have ever gotten into?
Yes. I was a big Quake fan growing up, so.
All right. So
Yeah.
Reboot of Quake. This is something I put my own stuff on the list too, because I'm also the internet. So I want a remake of Banjo-Kazooie or a reboot. Give me what I want. I will give you $70. I'll give you $100. Last time I said something like that, I got a remake of Majora's Mask 3D. So give me a remake of Banjo-Kazooie. Please.
They called it ukulele.
No, absolutely not. Ukulele's fun, but it is not. It is not Banjo. By the way, did you ever hear that they made a reboot or a sequel to Ukulele?
Yeah. Impossible Lair.
Yeah, and it's like not the same game.
It's like Donkey Kong Country style.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's cool. That's how that game should be. Then give me my banjo. Banjo. Internet also wants to see Wolfenstein 3. I'd rather them make Indiana Jones and not worry about Wolfenstein. I'm not sure what team makes the Evil Within, but that people also want Evil Within 3. And I never played. Steven, you're nodding your head like you've played Evil Within 1 and 2, or 1 or 2.
1 and 2, yeah.
All right.
It's I mean, it's pretty generic as far as how the gameplay goes. You go through, there's a basic storyline. You've got power-ups that you can get along the way and everything. But the story is just different from what you can expect from the generic action RPG-ish type of games. And I really want to see what they're going to do. I want to see if they're going to go to another storyline, or they're going to try to continue this, or what. Because they pretty much wrapped it up on the second one. So I really want to see how they're going to go with this, if they make it.
Yeah, if this isn't announced, but if they make another one, this isn't on. I didn't even think about this until we were just a second ago. But did y'all ever play Prey?
Yes.
Like, give me a Prey 2. Like,
Yeah,
Prey was great.
Yeah, it was great.
Didn't they add a game mode that was kind of like hide and seek, but with aliens? Or something like that? Am I remembering?
They added
right?
some DLC, but I never got around to playing it.
I'm pretty sure it was like a hide and seek kind of gig, but it was like a horror hide and seek. But not like that terrible movie, just like, aliens, but hide and seek. And then Forza Horizon 5, I don't see that coming out just because the Playground team's working on Fable. And then also another thing I put in here because it's me, Brutal Legend 2. Like, why are they sleeping on this game? Double Fine's about to wrap up Psychonauts, and then just get Jack Black and Kyle Gass back. It's like it's pretty much just Tenacious D the game. Everybody loves Tenacious D, unless you're a Karen. Everybody loves Tenacious D. Or Jack Black's parents from the Pick of Destiny. They don't like Tenacious D. But that game was so fun. Like I'm not a big fan of the RTS bit. Like when the second half of the game is like, oh, everything is just a strategy game now instead of this senseless hack and slash. But I don't care. Give me the story was so good in that game too, and there was so much room for a sequel. But that's what the internet. Sorry to get on a tangent. Just kind of. I'm very personal about my Brutal Legend and my Banjo-Kazooie. So that being said, that's all the games the internet is expecting to show up. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you would like to see show up at this event? And we'll just go around the circle. So we'll start with Steven.
I'm kind of ready for another Ori.
Didn't Ori and the Will of the Wisp just come out last year?
None-
Think so?
Was it last year or was it 2019?
Oh, it was 2019. They got the Series X version last year. That's what it was.
Yeah, I'm ready for the third installment.
I don't know what the turnaround is on those, but I imagine we could at least get an announcement of it. Anything else?
Not to my recollection. That's mainly what I've been playing, those types of genre of games. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Gotcha. Michael, anything that you would like to see on this list that's also going to come to PC so you'll be willing to play it?
There's no reason for it, but a new Viva Pinata,
Yeah.
I'd play the shit out of that.
They're like, well, we got to compete with Animal Crossing, so here's a animal beat 'em up pinata game. Be fun.
It was great. It was such a great game. I'd want to go buy a 360 right now just to play that game again.
Did you ever play the one on Xbox One?
No.
It's on Game Pass.
Go for it.
I think it's through Rare Replay. Isn't that a Rare game? I think it's on.
I guess so. Yeah.
So yeah, it's on a
But
Rare.
does
Replay.
it follow the TV show?
Couldn't tell you. All right, Chase. What about you, sir?
I would love a new Jet Set Radio game.
Oh
More
yes.
than anything.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, yes.
But I don't know if it's going to happen. I know Sega is looking into old IPs for reboots, so it may happen. So we'll see.
Now, when we were talking the other day, you mentioned that you wanted Xbox to have such a grand show that would make you want to buy an Xbox. So
Right.
what does Xbox have to do to give you that grand slam show to make you want to buy an Xbox?
I mean, they've got to at least put stuff out there that I want to play. Like, I mean, it's been, almost 7 months now, and they don't have any games that I want to play. I don't know. Like, I have no reason right now to go out and buy an Xbox other than I can play the games that I can play on my PS5. So, I mean, there's got to be. I want more of a reason. Like, I want exclusives. Like, that I can't get on PS5 or something like that. I need that extra reason to like say yes, I have to get an Xbox because right now there's just for me there's not a reason.
Like accompanying Fortnite skins that you can only redeem on the Xbox system.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be crazy if they did that. We're like, oh yeah, you can only buy Master Chief through Fortnite on Xbox. Because then you just see somebody running around with Master Chief and you get really jealous. Oh, I'm thinking of Spider-Man for Marvel's Avengers.
Didn't Rocket League do the same thing? Between the three consoles, there was only skins that you can get on certain consoles.
That
Because I know they had the
sounds
salmon
right.
skin on the salmon skin for Nintendo. I believe the Gears of War for the Xbox, and I don't know what they did for the PlayStation.
I imagine probably Horizon or Gran Turismo, if I had to think of one off the top of my head. But that being said, though, like I think on the PC version of Rocket League, I can access the Samus and Mario and Luigi cars. So I haven't really looked into it. All I know is that there's a Mr. Poopy Butthole bobber thing from my car antenna, and that's all I use. So every time that I hit someone, it's like, whoa wee.
That's fantastic.
You don't need anything else. Like that's the whole reason why I downloaded Rocket League. You know how to get me, just one dumb little thing and I'm sold. I don't need anything else. Well, I'm glad kind of that I read really fast through the notes, because had I done things in order during the part where no one could hear us, we would have talked about what games we're playing. But I didn't do that because I just read really fast, and I'm not used to it being at the top of the list. It's at the bottom usually. So that's all we got to talk about for Xbox at E3, in Bethesda at E3. We will obviously have more to follow up with that on, what is it, Sunday night, whenever we do the E3 Day 2 recap. So we're going to jump into what games we have been playing this week. So would anyone like to go first?
Go ahead.
Same thing I was playing last time. Genshin Impact and Honkai Impact. And that's really it. So right now, played a little bit of Among Us.
Nice.
With some randos, but I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all I'm doing.
Steven, what you been playing?
I picked up Genshin Impact last night. It was out of sheer boredom, but I'm just
That's
glad
fair.
that I picked it back up, and I'm kind of glad I picked it back up because I gave it like a month and a half hiatus. Just enough time for new characters and weapons and missions and stuff to come back. I'm also going to be probably not tonight. It'll probably be tomorrow night. I'm going to be picking up the Golden Sun series. I know I talked about it before, but I had a few family issues going on. So now that that's out of the way and I've handled that emotionally, I'm going to be picking those games up.
Sweet.
We're proud of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chase, what you got, man?
I platinumed Near Replicant, which I don't recommend doing. It was a lot of grinding. It was a lot of grinding, like more grinding than I wanted to do, but I did it. And I've been playing Biomutant the past few days, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, I started out kind of like iffy. Like, I heard a lot of mixed reviews, but like the more I gotten into it, the more I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, it's cool.
I've heard that they fixed a lot of stuff when they updated it the other day, and apparently the narrator was the most annoying bit of it, and they've silenced him.
He can get pretty annoying, yeah.
Because the whole game is narrated by that dude, right? So
yeah, so they kind of like the characters kind of speak like, well, it's like the characters speak like gibberish, and then after they're done speaking, he narrates what they say, so it's like I'm having to hear like double talk. So that was one of the little things I did not like about it.
Otherwise, they could have, I don't know, just gotten full voice acting.
That would have been great. Yeah.
instead of giving it Banjo-Kazooie speak, just let them all be voiced. Like, it makes sense in a cartoony rare game, but not like some realistic game with rats with swords in it. Just let them talk.
Right.
Or whatever animal they are. They look like rats. I don't know what they are.
I mean, I guess I was under the assumption that, like, before it got released, like, there would be other creature types or something. Like, when I heard, like, Biomutant, I assumed, like, we were going to have, like, reptiles and bears and shit like that. And
there's
all, like,
kind of like a variety of creatures in the game.
But, like, playable, though?
Not. Okay. You only get, like, one kind of playable, but there's a lot of different styles you can kind of choose from.
Okay.
It's very customizable. Like, there's a lot of customization in the game.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's good. I may pick it up once it's not $60 or whatever price it is. It needs to at least get a 50% cut before I will be even intrigued or entertain the idea of picking that up. I have been all over the place with playing games. Yesterday, like I said earlier, I picked up Forza Horizon 4, played that for like 2 hours. I played MLB The Show long enough to see the PlayStation logo pop up, and then I uninstalled it from my Xbox because the logo showing up as overstayed its welcome. I don't know. I literally was just like skimming through games, like, what do I want to play? I couldn't find anything. I played one match of Halo Master Chief Collection, and it put me in a Halo 1 lobby, and I kept getting spawn killed, so I quit the match, and then I tried going another one, and it said my account had been temporarily suspended for quitting matches, so I turned it off. Literally sat on the starting screen of Call of Duty, and then didn't play it. But it's all over it. And then today, I sat down randomly. I've like cleaned my desk up and everything, and I sat down and turned my Switch on, and I played in Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity for like 4 hours. It's just like a random stint of just wanting to get a Zelda fix in. And God, the story in that game is so good, especially compared to. I mean, it's a it's a prequel / alternate reality to Breath of the Wild. So I mean, it's got an interesting story that you can go through if you're ever interested in playing it. But God, I'm not a fan of Muso Warriors games. Like just running around really fast and having to combo attacks and stuff like that. Because I realized that I've only been playing as Link, and I haven't been playing as Zelda and Impa and any of the other characters in the game. So like Link is significantly just overpowered for everything, and they all suck. So like it'll give me a map with like 4 things to do, and I'll send all the other characters to the other objectives, and I'll run around and I'll go hit one, and then instead of flipping characters to go and do the one that they're at, I'm like, well, I gotta take Link all the way up here again because like they can't do it. I'll be there all day killing the same monster. So finally got that back out, but I'm gonna try to finish it before Breath of the Wild 2. No promises. I made us end up watching all the cutscenes on YouTube and be like, yeah, I finished it on YouTube. I'm calling it a day. All right. So that being said, we are going to go with our trivia for this week. And I'm not going to lie, the trivia is kind of easy, but they can't always be just, head scratchers with this. But there's also a bonus question if you guys want to attempt it. So the current trivia score as of this week, Michael, you are still in the lead with 13 points to Richard's 11. Steven, you have 7. Chase has 5, and Alex has 2. The trivia question is, which of these Nintendo characters was not a guest character in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Was it the Animal Crossing villager, Inkling, Link, or Fox McCloud? Chase, you can go first.
I'm going to go with Fox.
Michael?
What was the question again?
Which of these Nintendo characters was not a guest character in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Animal Crossing villager, Inkling, Link, or Fox?
Fox.
Steven?
Fox. I have no clue, so I'm just going to ride the bandwagon.
You have all ridden the bandwagon correctly. So that is a free point for everyone.
Yay!
Do you guys... So this next thing is a group answer because it's not a multiple choice. So I'm not going to tell you what it is and tell you whether you agree you want to do it or not. So... there's no point, I guess. I don't know why I said that. So I'm just going to read the question to you, and if you think you can answer it, cool, you all get a point. If not, nobody gets a point. So here's the thing. And again, it's not the hardest question on the planet, I guess. Can the group as a whole, for 1 point each, explain the curse that Demise put on Link and Zelda at the end of Skyward Sword? And there are spoilers, so don't listen to this if you don't know the answer. Is that an all around no? No one knows the answer to the question?
No one knows the answer to the question.
I have not played it. I'm just waiting on the new one.
Well, I guess it's a good thing we don't answer that question because Chase it would spoil the game for Chase. So I guess it's
I'm
good.
gonna play it anyway.
Oh, I know, but but everything makes sense at the end of the game. So spoilers, there's a curse at the end of the game. But we're not going to talk about it because Chase has another month until he can play it. So disregard. No one got a free point off of that. And we are just going to jump right in to wrapping up and giving everyone a chance to talk about what they're working on. Steven, what you got, man?
Was working on this before we started the podcast. I am working on what the internet has been calling angry synth or rage synth music. And I know it hip hop wise. I don't know it any other genre. So I've been working on some of that, and I think I'm gonna do like a 3-track series to it. And that'll be on SoundCloud, Breaker Beats 2020. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to be picking up the Golden Sun, and maybe a little bit of Legend of Dragoon, for those who have heard of that game. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that on Twitch, and that's The Breaks, THA, and Breaks with a Z, not a S.
Nice. Michael, what you got? Michael?
Excellent sauce.
What? Did we lose Michael?
Oh, it's me. Oh my God, it's me. I thought it was just the whole thing. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what was happening. I think the internet's being a little spotty.
Well, it is storming outside,
But
so, I mean.
I'm here.
Okay. So, Michael, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Epic Games still has their Epic sale going on until the 17th. And it's a pretty good sale. A lot of games are discounted, even like big games that just came out. I got Outriders for like $35-40.
Nice.
Somewhere around there, because not only in addition to the discount, they also give you a $10 coupon if you buy anything over like $15. So it's fucking phenomenal. Hop on that sale.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, stalledaction.com.
Also, stalledaction.com.
Mr. Chase, you got anything you want to plug? Any works?
Not working on anything. Just pumped on E3 and everything just coming out. Ready for Ratchet and Clank.
Yep. That's when does that come out? The end of this month?
I think it's coming out next week.
Oh.
End of next week.
Oh, that's exciting. So we got Ratchet, and then I think a week later is when Mario Golf comes out. So there's something for everyone coming out this month. So, all right, if you want to find me anywhere, Meechflow on Twitch and Twitter, and also TikTok. I'm TikTok famous, low key. I love that Richard literally just got in the chat and said Xbox blows.
Yeah, I was just about to jab, huh?
Wait till the last minute. Xbox blows. Mitch doesn't know anything about PlayStation. He don't know. All right. I'm going to stop reading there for a second. I'm going to go ahead and redo the announcements that I made at the beginning of this episode now that we're being funny again and not, upset that I forgot to unmute everybody. So this week, regular episode. Next week, there is going to be no episode on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what day we record. June 12th through the 15th is E3, and every one of those nights at 9:30, we are going to be having a recap of that day's E3 shows. And then real quick, just to go through the stuff again that's coming, that the announcements for the conferences for each day. June 12th at 12, every time on here is Central Time. So June 12th at 12 p.m., Ubisoft Forward with a showcase from Gearbox Entertainment later that day. June 13th, Xbox and Bethesda, followed by Square Enix, the PC Gaming Show and Future Game Show. June 14th is the indie conferences, along with the Devolver Digital Showcase. Take-Two, Mythical Games, Freedom Games, Razer, and Capcom. And June 15th is Nintendo's E3 Showcase, followed by 3 hours of Nintendo Treehouse, and then a conference from Bandai Namco. So that's all the conferences. You can go to E3's website. You can get all the stuff from there. And like I said, every night we're going to have a recap show with special guests and whoever else we can get. What is going on in this chat?
Skyrim 2.
Oh, Ben Hackler. Yes, Skyrim 2. Good job.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yes. What is it? Richard said that was in reference to not knowing about Ratchet and Clank. Must be some chat lag. Oh, it should be on low delay, but I wouldn't be surprised because we're having technical difficulties, like the first 5 minutes of the show being completely silent. So, anyway, yeah, Skyrim 2. I think that's what we're all looking for. Not Elder Scrolls 6, but Elder Scrolls 5 X2. Do it Final Fantasy style. Like I said, that's going to do it for this episode of Next Gen Newsweek. We'll be back Saturday, June 12th, with the first E3 recap event. And until then, have a great, I guess, week and a half, almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Break.
Yeah. We'll see you Saturday.
Sure.
Anything,
This
Michael?
week's episode is brought to you by socks. You need at least 2.
But don't wear them in bed. That's weird.
Why not?
Wear them in the pool.
Yeah, that.
There you go.
Don't wear them in the bed.